The only British politician capable of bombing bigger than Jeremy Corbyn? Well, that's Theresa May.
This time on the Mercer and Mogilevsky Show. Okay, guys, welcome back. The British election was, I believe it was like a week ago?
Yeah, just over a week
Just
ago.
about a week ago. And there was quite a surprise. Theresa May came out with a coalition victory, but nobody expected that to be the case. Mercer, what kind of happened there?
Well, Theresa May called a snap election. This is something that the Conservatives in Britain do very well. They fire their prime ministers while they're still in power and bring in somebody new. And she looked out and she saw she had a 26-point lead in the polls and predictions of getting massive majorities, which would have been helpful. She had a 4-seat majority, 4 extra seats. So if one guy gets sick, somebody's cranky, and somebody is stuck in the bathroom during a vote, they could potentially have a real problem. Yeah. Okay, so she wants more people on her side, and so she called an election. What happened was, one, the pollsters always tend to think the Conservatives are going to do better than their polls, which they tend to do. But the pollsters were like ratcheting up the Conservative vote in the polls, which was a mistake. Mm-hmm. The polls were actually fine. After they adjusted them towards the Conservatives, they were too much, and Theresa May became unpopular. Jeremy Corbyn is an absolute imbecile in the House of Commons.
He is an idiot.
Nobody likes him.
No.
Not even his own party, but when he got out on the campaign trail, he connected. He's essentially a left-wing Donald Trump, according to people. He's going for the anger, for the visceral. Theresa May went out. She's very good in the House of Commons, not so good on the campaign trail. She's just listening to her advisors, taking the poll, this and that, and their lead just crumbled away, and they ended up just under 10 seats short of a majority.
Yeah, I heard that Jeremy Corbyn took a humongous chunk of the under 30 crowd.
Oh, it was unbelievable. I don't have the numbers right in front of me, but the split was like people over 65, 80% conservative, people under 30, 80% labor. The age divide is huge.
Yeah, it was absolutely crazy to see that this guy, even though he's a whack job, he's an insane little fellow. I don't actually know his size, but he got so many of these young people supporting him in Britain.
Yeah, he definitely has a certain appeal. Generally, people thought he's a disaster, but he's committed to his things. He would be a left-wing extremist, the same way we might be characterized as right-wing extremists or whatever. Yeah. But he believes what he was saying. I think he actually said what he believes in, whereas Theresa May have been saying, okay, at the morning meeting, all right, here I am. What do I need to say today to win votes? And then they tell her, and she goes and says that. And it works, but it's not as authentic.
No.
So authenticity, what we've seen in recent elections, everybody's like, oh, there's a right-wing shift, or there's extremism, or this or that and the other thing. Well, really what we've actually seen in elections is that authenticity tends to win the day. Bernie Sanders, Donald Trump, Maxime Bernier, Jeremy Corbyn, the thing they all have in common is authenticity. And frankly, everybody was hyping up Marine Le Pen. She didn't bring the same authenticity that people saw in Emmanuel Macron. And so that's what people are looking forward for, and that's what's succeeding.
So what do you think about the fact that Donald Trump, a couple when the Manchester and London attack happened, the London mayor had some thoughts.
Londoners will see an increased police presence today and over the course of the next few days. No reason to be alarmed.
And Donald Trump was not a fan of that and saying, why is he saying that? If some people are speculating that somehow affect the election toward Jeremy's favor, what do you think about that?
Well, I think it maybe not in Jeremy Corbyn's favor, but I don't think it helped the Conservatives. The Conservatives have tied themselves to Brexit, and Trump has talked up Brexit. And so people connect the Conservatives in their minds. And Donald Trump is unbelievably unpopular in Europe. And so anything that's connected to him becomes more unpopular. Now, taking a spat, like with the mayor of London, had said some stuff that I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Other stuff that's like, okay, I'm not sure I agree with him. Or I know I don't agree with him. But Donald Trump's going after him, that was not helpful to the conservative cause. Whether it helped labor, I can't say, but generally, yeah, that was not a good idea by Donald if he wanted to help Brexit.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because the London mayor himself is a self-proclaimed he is a Muslim, and he wants to further, I would say, the immigration agenda and that's part of the reason that the UK, the mass immigration that's taking place, and lots of the majority now is almost Muslim at this point in London.
But the thing is, you turn around and you realize many of those people don't have British citizenship yet. So a lot of people that immigrated to other European countries first or from the Middle East are coming to England because it's a great place.
Yeah.
But the British population is still not. Those people aren't all British citizens that are voting, and so you get pushback from the people already there, and it shows up at the polls. So the population doesn't correlate to the voting population.
Yeah.
Now, the first episode, or no, not the first, one of the earliest episodes of Mercer and Mogilevsky was talking about Brexit. We're still talking about.
I think it might have been the first episode. Maybe
I think
the
it was
second?
number two.
Okay, two.
But we're gonna keep talking about
That's interesting,
because
actually.
this whole
been a year.
thing with Theresa May,
Yeah.
losing that election puts it into a little bit of jeopardy. I expect Brexit will go forward. Roughly 50% voted for pro-Brexit parties. Roughly 50% voted against Brexit. Labour is not taking a hard stance against Brexit. They're taking a sort of soft stance where they want to try and negotiate the best deal possible. The SNP, the Nationalist Party, had a disaster in Scotland. Whether or not that means that Scottish independence is declining, I don't know. We're going to have to see. They have a little thing, a lot like Canada with Quebec for a while there, but it's everything's up in the air, and people are saying there's going to be another election in the UK. It's going to be.
It is interesting. It really is interesting because you have places like Ireland as well that I've heard some people from Ireland talking about how England got out of the UK. Great Britain got out of the UK, the EU. The EU in order to become more of who they once were before the EU, as like taking over places and becoming a real this is like I'm serious, like become
return to imperialism.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly
That's
what
not gonna happen.
So it's interesting because they're like why they just want to get out because they want to bully us again, and the EU is holding them back. I do think it's interesting because a lot of different opinions in the UK about the EU, because lots of people think it's holding people back, but also there's the fact of where's economic freedom and having to baby other countries along. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's really complicated. Brexit is something that I view in a positive light, but not like it's not the savior of everything. The Britain still has a lot of problems, but the EU is a problematic organization. Because if they want to become one giant country, that's fine. But definitely the people in Britain do not want to just be Europeans. They were Great Britain before America was even invented, and they still want to be Great Britons. They want to be a United Kingdom, and they have a certain nationalism. And most people don't think that level of nationalism is bad. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, it is interesting, and we will keep you updated to what goes on there. It's lots of exciting stuff going in North America and Europe as well, and Asia, obviously. It's a great time we're living in, very interesting. We wanted to let you guys know that this weekend we are having a film challenge. And in this film challenge, we're going to be directing 3 teams to make films, and you will be able to see those films eventually. But we just wanted to let you know that we're going to be doing that, and hopefully on Monday you'll be able to see some of those films.
Yeah, and if you watch their social media or whatever, we'll probably be posting a couple of pics here and there. And it's going to be a lot of fun. We've got a good number of people coming out, and thank you to all of you who are coming for registering and getting to us. That's going to be great.
Yes, absolutely. And thanks for watching, and see you next time.